Are you going to dance? Here comes the beat.
I had to get my headphones on.
All right. Welcome to the program. It is a Wednesday, August 14th. Joined by Franklin Jonathan Sharples by way of Tallahassee. And Mr. Devlin Kleber by way of, well, I mean, technically Seattle, I guess, if...
I mean, yeah. Seattle. I'm in the Seattle for 40-year-old.
In the area, if you will. Vero's already over in the chat. Hello, Vero. How the hell are you? What do we got going on today? Let me take a gander over here. So...
Doesn't feel like a Wednesday. I'll say that much. I feel like a Wednesday.
It doesn't, does it?
I kept thinking it was Thursday.
I do have to tell you that doing this stuff on Wednesdays, though, it makes my week fly by. Because then once we get this done, there's only 2 days left of the work week, and then there we go. All right, here's what we got coming up on the program. We're going to get to first impressions. That's where I show a picture to the guys, get their first impression, and then we give you information about whatever topic we're discussing. There's going to be Uncle Buck, Sports Illustrated, SNICK, and Sega Genesis, actually, are going to be the some of the topics today. We're also going to get to Onion Headlines. The way Onion Headlines works is I have 3 different headlines. 2 of them come from the Onion. One of them is an actual headline that sounds like it comes from the Onion, and the guys have to guess which one is real. And then we're also going to get to 90s trivia and Robert De Niro movie draft. The one thing I forgot to do was to pull up when his actual birth date is, because I try to wrap this around their birthdays. And he turns 81 years old on August 17th.
Damn, he's old as hell.
81 years old, ladies and gentlemen. But first thing we got to do is we got to go through all of last week's YouTube polls. First and foremost, here's one of them. What are you looking forward to most in the fall? Here are your 4 options. Leaves changing, football, Halloween, or cooler weather? Frank, which one do you think won?
All of the above. Well, football's going to win, but all of the above.
Frank thinks football
you
won
forgot
the poll?
Pumpkin spice for the ladies.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going with
that would have been a
weather.
good one. Damn it. Which one, Devlin?
I'm going with cooler weather.
He's going with
I do
cooler
agree
weather.
with pumpkin spice.
Point Devlin. Cooler weather. 34% of the vote. Football actually came in 3rd behind cooler weather and
you got
Halloween.
Bunch of nerds that follow you.
Well, I think cooler weather is going to win out because I think the vast majority of my audience, at least on YouTube,
It's in Texas.
is in El Paso. We're just ready to be done with 100-degree heat. Although, interestingly enough, if I told you guys where the majority of my followers are on Instagram,
Philippines.
it was right there with the first 2 letters. Philadelphia.
Philadelphia? Oh.
Because I did a random video.
Hey,
I
cheesecake.
did a video about Temple University and the city of Philadelphia digging up a bunch of graves and then just dumping the headstones. And yeah, so
Like
They
that-
just stuck with you.
that video got a ridiculous amount of views, and it also got me a whole bunch of subscribers. I mean, I think that one vaulted me by like an extra 4,000 subscribers or something like that.
Nice.
All right, next YouTube poll. What is the greatest fighting franchise of all time? Not fighting game specifically, but fighting franchise. The 4 options were Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, or Tekken. What do you think won, Devlin?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with Street Fighter, though.
Devlin says Street Fighter. Frank, what do you think?
I think Street Fighter. I played the Devil's Advocate. I'll go Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Devil's Advocate pays off. Mortal
Didn't see that.
Kombat.
I was going to go with Tekken.
Not even close either. Mortal Kombat took 70% of that vote, by the way.
I enjoyed Tekken. I thought it was a decent game.
I liked Marvel vs. Capcom. That whole like
That
giant
was
blast
good,
that would
too.
always do
Marvel-
off the screen was always so much fun.
Marvel vs. Capcom was always awesome, especially when you were Wolverine. Love
Yeah, I
playing
did.
with Wolverine.
I would play Wolverine, Captain America, and Spider-Man as my 3. Those 3.
there you go.
kick
Oh, yeah.
ass.
Yeah, Nightmare.
I also like
in-
the Cyclops was badass in that. 'Cause the
Mhm.
big
Oh,
blast
dude,
he would do.
I was gonna say, didn't he have the one where he would like jump up and then it was like a huge beam coming out? Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, Nightmare in the YouTube chat. He's saying, facts, this heat can just go away right now. Now, granted, knock on wood, this summer I don't feel has been as hot as last summer. I mean, it really felt like once the end of June rolled around last year, we were in triple digits for all the way until October almost, and it hasn't quite been that way. And we were hitting like
we were in the
110.
90s until October.
Oh,
So
very.
90s October, humid, dude. 90s in October, humid and smoke.
Oh yeah,
That
see
shit
up
was
there,
horrid.
yeah, up there you're getting the humidity, which is just brutal. All right, next YouTube question. Do you watch preseason football? This one is a yes or no question, but it's yes, football is football, or no, it's garbage football. Frank.
I'm a no. It's garbage football. I only watch like maybe 2 or 3 series, and that's it.
All right, Devlin.
I'm gonna go with no. Garbage.
See how fast I can do that? You both get point.
I
Yeah,
had a
it was
buddy-
70% garbage football. What's that, Frank?
I said I had a buddy like 24 years back in 2000. Like came up to my job one day. He's like, "Hey man, you want to go to the bar and watch the football game?" And that's like the beginning of August. And I was like, "Who the hell's playing right now?" He's like, "Nah, man, it's the preseason. The Bucks are playing." I was like, "I'm not gonna go to a bar to watch a preseason game, man."
I
That's
actually,
boring.
when I moved to South Florida, I had some friends buy me tickets to a Dolphins preseason game, and it was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There you
And I got to see a fight in the stands.
go. Welcome to Florida. Welcome
Yeah.
to Miami.
All right, this next YouTube poll, it kind of they'll flash back to last week's live stream and regarding the Rugrats. Who was your favorite Rugrat? I had Tommy Pickles, Chucky Finster, Phil and Lil, they're one, or Angelica Pickles. Devlin, which one do you think won the poll?
Oh, I mean, obviously Tommy won, but I always liked Phil and Lil. Their dynamic was great.
All right, so but your guess is Tommy?
Tommy, yeah.
All right, Frank, what are you saying?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Tommy as well. He was the crux.
No, I'm sorry. Tommy came in second. Chucky Finster
Really?
came in
Wow,
first.
some redheaded love, huh?
Yeah, 47%. And then Tommy Pickles came in at 38%. Phil and Lil, 10%. And then Angelica way behind at 5%. I
Do you remember? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Back to Rugrats. I apologize. I'm ranting. I know I should do this. This is your show. But
No.
do you remember the Rugrats episode where Chucky's dad wins the lottery
No.
and Angelica's dad scams him out of a bunch of money to make this earwax cleaner?
Mhm.
No.
That ended
yeah.
up. I saw that invention on Instagram like last year being sold around.
No shit.
The ear whiz is what he called it, and it bankrupted him. It was so sad.
No,
they
I-
had yeah, it was crazy.
When was I gotta go back and watch because
I think
I
it was a
watched
later
it.
version. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
okay,
like
because I watched a
later.
ton of it, of the originals, but my kid watched a lot of it as well. And it was the original and then also some of the newer stuff. And I would always kind of.
Oh, it was original. It was original episode.
Oh, maybe I did.
I think it was one of the later years. Yeah, like towards the end of like before they went to where they were teenagers.
Oh.
Rugrats when they made that series.
Oh yeah. This was before the teenage years.
It's kind of
They
like
were still
when Disney got Doug and they made Roger and his family win the lottery.
That happened too?
Yeah, on the
my
Disney
God.
Doug, Roger becomes rich because his mom or dad wins the lottery.
Roger
It's like-
Klotz.
Yeah, this one was Pat Sajak kind of thing where he got the big check because he did the little mail-in order
Mhm.
thing
Oh.
kind of thing.
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
Ed
that's how they-
McMahon?
well, I guess it was Ed McMahon.
Who, by
yeah,
the
that
way, never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse.
Really?
No, he worked for another company called American Family Publishers.
There you
And
go.
they were similar and they ran similar contests, but people for some reason linked the two
associated
together. Yeah. Even back then, like, because I did a video on this because when I read that, I was just farting around on Reddit and I saw that headline pop up. Like, did you know that Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse? And I was like, bullshit. So I clicked it. Yeah, no.
You got
it-
Mandela effect.
Yeah, no, it was. Dude, Mandela effect fascinates the hell out of me. Like Berenstain Bears, all that
Right.
stuff.
My favorite he also wasn't he the one that did Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
No, that was
was
Robin
the
Leitch.
English guy.
Robin
Leitch.
Leitch with Love
Yeah, that
Styles.
was
That was Cribs before MTV Cribs.
Mm-hmm.
Is really all that was.
It was Cribs on NBC.
Yeah.
Actual rich people, not people renting a house for the show.
Exactly. Or the greatest MTV Cribs episode ever, Redman. Where he's
Was
got the
Redman the best
doorbell. He's like, he didn't have a working doorbell. He goes, you just flick these two wires together and it rings the doorbell to the house. And he's like his cousin sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Oh man, I'm telling you, if you've never seen Redman's episode of MTV Cribs, go check it out. Really quick story with Rugrats too was my kid watched a lot of it back in the day, and I would use Angelica as a deterrent when she would start to like kind of throw a fit. Because I would be like, do you like Angelica? And she's like, oh, no, she's so mean. I'm like, then don't be Angelica. You're being Angelica. It didn't always work. All right, next YouTube poll. Who was the creepier burger mascot? This going back to Mac Tonight, who we talked about last week. But it was Mac Tonight or the Burger King? Frank.
Burger King. That guy is weird as hell.
Frank is saying Burger King. Devlin?
By far, the Burger King.
Okay. And you both get a point. Yeah,
That dude would creep up on you hard.
Wasn't there one where he was like hanging outside somebody's window, like their bedroom window?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did the whole like Halloween thing.
He had a video
he would
game.
He slowly rolled into the window like this, like.
Yeah. Okay,
And
so
it was
I'm
like,
not
no,
crazy.
you need to stop this.
Yeah, he had a video game that I played. I think I got. I honestly think I got it from Burger King. It was one of those ones that if you went to like Burger King and ordered whatever the hell it was, you could get the video game for $5. And I was like, yeah, Xbox 360. Yeah.
By the way, just so McDonald's is doing those commemorative cups again.
The what
I don't
cups?
know if you've seen. I stumbled on that. Was it? Now you got me overthinking how to friggin' say it.
I want to know how you hold a cup now. Like, how do you drink water?
Like Trump, I hold it like this and chug it.
It's always
in,
spinning in your mouth.
And chug it in. No, so anyways, they got the cups back, the collector's cups. And so I was like, all right, that's like what they did in the 80s where they had those glasses and had all the weird
Oh,
crap
yeah.
on it. So I was like, I'll go this morning. I'll buy one. Check it out. So you get the meal. You know, they hand it to me, or they hand me my bag. I'm like, this bag is light. I was like, yeah, I didn't get my glass. Like, oh no, it's in the bag. And I was like, that's light as hell. It's a plastic cup.
Oh,
it's not even glass. It's plastic. So
Well,
don't waste your time
real
with it.
quick.
Is it really all that surprising though?
Garbage. Oh no, back to the video game thing, because Brandon, you and I talked about this. The Burger King one, the game that I had that I was like, why is this a thing? There were two games when I was a kid that were on Nintendo. There was the 7-Up chip. And the Domino or Pizza Hut Noid. The Noid.
Remember the Noid game? I remember that one.
Yeah, and the Noid
I remember
game.
both of those. We even did a whole segment on the Noid weeks ago. Did you ever hear the story, Devlin, about the Noid who there was a guy that thought that the commercials were mocking him, so he went to a Domino's and basically held a couple of Domino's employees hostage? Yeah.
Because the Noid was talking to him?
He thought, because his last name, I believe, was Noid. So he thought that those commercials were mocking him. So he went and basically held a couple of employees hostage. Now, here's where the twist happens. He got hungry, so he made them make him a pizza. And while he was eating, they ran out the front door.
Take it. Although I gotta give it to the guy, like, I mean, if that's true, I would go after Keebler Elves real quick. Those guys made my life hell.
Well, it's Keebler, not Kleber.
I know, but does it mean people could read?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that L is easy to move.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. One more YouTube poll. This is the one that I was really excited about today, and we might bring this one back up, revisit this one next week, because I truly just put this one up this morning. But it was who has the most obnoxious fan base. The four options were Beyonce, Insane Clown Posse, Taylor Swift, or Metallica. Who do you think? Who do you think won this poll? Now, first, who do you think won it, and who would you have voted for?
I'm gonna go with Insane Clown Posse 1, but I probably would have voted for Taylor Swift. The Swifties are crazy.
All right, Frank.
Man, it's like at some point throughout the last 20 years, all of those fan bases were annoying as hell, and I think it's more of like at the time that you're in, and right now Swift is everywhere, and I get tired of their fans. I love the video. Like I saw the video of the movie, and the girls like in the witch circle swinging and doing the circle inside the theater, and I was like, this is a cult. It's got to be the Swifties. Sip your tea.
Yes. Taylor Swift by far 78% of the vote of people voting for Taylor Swift.
I've driven by both crowds during her concert, and Beyonce's were all fabulous. Nothing but men and women dressing like disco balls and cowboy hats. And Swifties, I've never seen so much jaywalking in my life. Like, it's like the cars should obey them. And I was like, what the hell are you people doing?
Well, now, don't get me wrong here. So I love Metallica. My issue with Metallica's fan base is that they are dicks. and it's proven time and again, because there's the whole Jim Brewer getting me into see Metallica story that if you want to watch, it's in an episode of History of Rock or one of the podcasts that we've done. But when I was talking to Jim Brewer about it, he was their opening act because, as he described it, when other acts try to open up for Metallica, the fan base just gets pissed and boos them off stage, which is incredibly fucking rude. Like, that bothers me. That's why I put Metallica on this poll, because, I mean, I love Metallica, and I got a lot of friends that are Metallica fans, but to do that to an opening band is just a dick move, man.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, honestly, if you're going to compare rock fans, though, I kind of hate Tool fans.
I could definitely see that.
They're like, Tool's the next Messiah. You got to listen to their album Holy throughout.
Oh, all the people who think it's some sort of fucking religious movement. It's like, no, it's music, dude.
Yeah.
It's just music.
And I'm like, I can't take this shit. No, I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Tool fan. I'll travel to go see Tool, but yes, I do 100% agree that Tool fans could be the worst. When I saw Tool in Portland, this was back in 2013 or 14, I think. And I was there with my mom and my sister. And I just remember these two guys that were sitting behind us, where almost every other sentence was, dude, Tool. Fucking Tool, bro. Like, that's all that they were saying. And it was beyond obnoxious. Although Nightmare is chiming in, she says, fandoms ruin everything. Yeah, I mean, look at Star Wars.
Yeah.
No matter what they put out, there's always going to be that segment of the fan base that's going to hate on it because it's not going to be what they anticipated or what they thought that they should do. Now, granted, there's been a lot of Star Wars garbage.
Star Wars because of that.
Yeah.
I can't stand Star Wars. I grew up thinking I loved this show and loved the all of it, the fandom, and then you meet the fans and you're like, this is garbage. What is wrong with you people? You took all the fun out of everything.
All right. Well, that's your YouTube polls. If you guys want to check these out, head over to my YouTube channel. Go to it used to be on the community page. I don't think that's what's there anymore. I think they've relabeled it as posts. So if you go to my YouTube channel, or even if you're just flipping around on YouTube on your phone, if you're already subscribed to the channel, they should pop up right there for you. So make sure you're voting on these, and then you can get the recap coming up on the following week. Also on the YouTube channel, make sure that you're becoming a member. 2 different tiers. There's the channel supporter, which is just 99 cents a month. That's where you get your stickers. You got your History of Rock sticker. Let me hand this one to Frank here. Oh, no, we dropped it. Your Cross-Eyed Bear sticker and your Brandalorian sticker.
It's a magic trick, and we made it disappear.
Yeah, I gotta send you. I gotta send you some of these just so we can do that one day. But yeah,
you're supposed to talk about that stuff offline so nobody knows the trick you're doing.
No, that's the whole point, is that nobody really cares. Here you go. What is that? Is that a napkin? Hold on.
Yeah, you can clean your nose.
Do it again. Here you go. Watch. Oh, I made it green. Wait, no, I made it green. Oh my God. All right. So yeah, so 99 cents. You
I'm
can become
embarrassed to know you both right now.
a channel supporter. I work with you, so you're stuck with me. Oh shit, no, you're my boss. You can get rid of me.
I don't want to do that.
So for channel supporters, it's 99 cents a month. It helps us run this channel. Eventually, the goal here is to get everybody paid so that we can actually do this thing as a true side hustle for everybody that's involved. And you get a sticker pack. So if you do become a channel supporter, hit me up on Facebook or somewhere on any of the social medias, and then you can give me your address. I'll send it to you. There's also Memberlorian tier, which is $4.99 a month. And for that one, you get not only the sticker pack, but also a T-shirt with one of those graphics, I guess, on it. And the sizes aren't guaranteed, but I got a boatload of those T-shirts, man. Devlin's got one, actually. Gave one in when we were in
they are
Scottsdale.
quality, I got to be honest. They are quality cotton.
Did you finally send it out to Anna?
No, actually, no. She's because she reached out to me. She's moving, and so she's like, yeah, just hold off on it, and we'll send it coming up here. Because with my luck, I would send it, and it would show up like the week after she moved.
Yeah, perfect.
That's exactly what would happen.
It sounds like every tax document I've ever gotten.
Exactly.
Always at the old address.
All right. Now, what are we doing here? Oh, it's time for first impressions. You guys ready for first impressions? Here we go. All right, it is first impressions. I'm going to show the gentleman here a picture. I want to know what their first impression is of these pictures, and then we're going to learn a little bit about the thing that I'm putting in there. So, picture number 1. Devlin, what is your first impression when I show you this? Oh, shit. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't see
Yay,
either.
there we go.
Ooh, giant pancake.
Of course.
It is Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck is correct.
Should have seen the toast. Couldn't even fit it through the door. It's my favorite movie, man.
Uncle Buck released
right.
August 16th, 1989. And yes, you can make those pancakes. There is multiple recipes that you can find online to make.
He's got contraband mix, though. He's got Aunt Jemima. That's a no-no.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're just going to have to adapt. I guess he's got a couple
Buck
of them because there's another one back here.
Uncle Buck is now canceled.
Uncle Buck got canceled. So it made $79.2 million at the box office. Now, John Candy was not the first choice for Uncle Buck. Do either of you know who was?
Belushi. Oh, Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito
really?
was the first choice to play.
Macaulay Culkin would have been taller than him.
He totally would have been. But John Candy ended up kind of being the go-to guy for John Hughes. Did you know that he actually is in more John Hughes movies than any other actor?
I believe it. Yeah.
Really?
He was in National Lampoon's Vacation, Planes,
Chicago
Trains, and
guy.
Automobiles, The Great Outdoors, She's Having a Baby, Home Alone, and Career Opportunities. Those are the other movies that he was in.
Wasn't he the Brat Pack guy too? John Hughes movies?
Yes.
Because him and Molly Ringwald had a falling out, I think.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah,
John
he wrote a
Candy or
movie
John
for her,
Hughes?
and she did-
John
John
Hughes.
Hughes.
Oh, well, he's
Yeah,
dead
she
now,
was supposed
so.
to be in a movie with him, and she just bounced. And he was like, never again.
Well, I think it was she wanted to do older stuff, and he wanted to keep her in that like
Teenage role.
teenage role, and she was in her 20s at that point, and so she turned down a movie role, and he just took it personal and never wanted to work with her again.
He wrote that movie for her.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote a lot of them.
Yeah.
Did either of you watch...
Like, she was his muse, which is fucking creepy, but...
Did either of you watch Bratz?
No.
It's the
but I know a
documentary.
few of them.
Yeah, well, it's the documentary about the Brat Pack that was done by...
Oh.
Ah, crap. No, I'm forgetting his name. Andrew
Garfield?
No. That's Spider-Man. God, what was the Brat Pack Andrew?
The guy from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes! Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah.
So, it's a decent watch. But, I mean, it truly just kind of comes... It's like presented as if he just needs therapy to figure out what the hell happened to the Brat Pack. Molly Ringwald would not be involved with the project.
You can't blame her.
But they did get Rob Lowe. They did get Emilio Estevez. And then a few of the other actors as well.
Oh, they got John Cryer too, huh?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a decent watch, but the whole time you're watching it, you're like, God, this guy just needs to get fucking therapy for this.
Yeah.
All right, back to Uncle Buck here. The scene where Macaulay Culkin interrogates Shanice, that's obviously not the scene, through the...
What's your record on most questions? I love this scene. Sorry.
I always, no. But if you can ever chime in with a quote from the movie, do it. Please, for the love of God, do it. Because I love going back, and as I'm researching all of this stuff, I specifically go and try to watch just scenes from all of these different movies or whatever it is, or commercials or whatever we're talking about. And this is one that I definitely watched. But the scene with Macaulay Culkin where he's talking to Shanice through the mail slot, that gave John Hughes the idea for Home Alone.
There you go.
Nice.
Hence the reason when he shoots what's his face in the nuts.
It's still a good scene too.
I always like the scenes, like the one where he's talking to the boyfriend, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come to my car? And I got this hatchet. I'll show it to you." And she's like, "He's bull crapping you. He didn't have it." He opens his trunk. He goes, "Look, I found it. It's right here." It really freaks the guy out. He's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna go over there." And then the other one was when he's dealing with the principal. And he's got that
here's
wart.
a quarter. Go get a rat to gnaw that thing off your face.
No, but I like in the beginning where he's like, it's almost like when Austin Powers does the thing with in his Austin Powers.
Yeah,
the mole.
Yeah, the mole.
Yeah. And John Candy's like, I'm her wart. I mean, I'm her uncle. Must only his warts. He just can't get away from it.
Man, he was so good. He was stinking good. So
I also loved how suburban that school was. When a car would backfire, all the kids would duck.
Oh, I love the fact that you brought that up. It's almost like you knew that, Devlin.
Right there.
Look at that. Because some of the scenes, see, Devlin, this is why you fit perfectly in with this live stream, because that was perfect timing. Because some of the scenes were filmed at New Trier, I think it's Trier High School in Winnetka, Illinois, which is the same location where they built sets and filmed scenes for Home Alone.
There you go.
Because obviously, John Hughes kind of had that same, he gravitated towards the same areas and same actors and everything. But now, speaking of inside the classroom, with Maisie, look very closely to Shaw.
Yeah, that
is
her name, but
Anna Chlumsky. She would go on to star in My Girl with Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, yeah.
He's allergic to bees.
Oh, God.
He needs his glasses. He needs his glasses.
It's his glasses.
And a quick side note here.
I feel like this inspired 6 Feet Under.
And in case you didn't know, so that's her, not necessarily about now, maybe a few years ago. She was in Veep.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious in Veep, by the way. If you've never seen it, go check it out. And finally, Uncle Buck, there were 2 short-lived TV shows of the same name. The first one debuted September 10th, 1990. It aired 16 total episodes. There was another 6 that never even aired. And nobody from the movie was actually involved with this project.
Right.
They just kind of did it.
They did that a lot in the 80s.
Yeah. Remember, there was a Ferris Bueller show that they tried to come out with.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's also an Uncle Buck that came out in 2016 with, do you guys remember who Uncle Buck was in that one?
Epps. Mike Epps.
Mike Epps is correct.
I remember everybody being upset about that.
And that one lasted a total of 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Mike
Epps can't carry anything, though. Like, he wasn't good enough to carry something like that.
No, he's a good side guy, but as far as the lead role...
It's also hard, though, too, where, like, you have a great movie. Like, that was a great movie, and John Candy was Uncle Buck. And the series failed, one, because the guy wasn't John Candy, but in this one here... I mean, you have the race card. You had a bunch of people that are like, why is Uncle Buck black now? He can't be black. And you had that whole thing going.
Course,
I think that really canceled or really down
also,
that show.
In my opinion, with comedians, like the best shows that they ever made, especially in the 90s, were they built the show around their stand-up comedy.
Yep.
Because then the comedian could fit right into it. Yep. This wasn't around his comedy wasn't about being an uncle.
No.
Or a family man or anything.
No, it was a Hail Mary, and it obviously failed. All right, so for this next one,
Bernie Mac was fantastic.
Oh, I got a video I'm working on about Bernie Mac and how much of a piece of shit Steve Harvey is, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate Steve Harvey.
My favorite time, I lived in LA for a short time, and I hate to say this, but my first favorite thing about Bernie Mac was the post-mortem line, was he just died, and the comedians in LA for the morning radio show were saying, I think it's conspiracy theory. I think people whacked Bernie Mac to get parts for Morgan Freeman. Because he was in the hospital at the same time.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, that's some dark comedy for a morning show.
All right, so this next, it's not really first impressions here, because I'm not going to originally show you guys a picture, but we're going to be talking about Sports Illustrated, because it debuted August 16th, 1954. Do the math on that. That's 70 years. So I'm going to give you the year, and I want to see if you can guess who the Sportsman of the Year was for that year. I do have some hints for you, and we're only going to go 1980 to 1999, and I've isolated the more obvious answers. Like, there were some years where it was like a track and field team and stuff like that, where you're not going to know who the hell those people were. So I tried to pick names and people who you guys would recognize. So we'll roll first here. Devlin, we'll let you go first.
Yep.
1980. It's a group. Now, I don't have to get through all the hints either. Like, if you know it before I actually get to it, let me know. It's a group. And there was a movie made about what they did. Frank knows it.
Oh, is it hockey?
You are correct, sir! Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Yeah, the U.S. Olympic hockey team was the big one on that. And I was going to say that the movie was called Miracle. It was going to be your final hint.
Kurt Douglas.
Miracle on Ice.
I mean,
Kurt Douglas. No, Kurt Russell, Frank. Good Lord.
Kurt Russell.
All right, but we're moving over to Frank now. Here we go. Who was the Sportsman of the Year? 1982.
Oh, you skipped 81.
I told you I was only going to do the big years.
Well,
we're not doing every year from 1980 to 1999.
I was born, so screw you.
Yeah, we're going to skip over the year you were born. All right, so 1982, hockey player.
Gretzky.
Yeah.
Was there ever another one?
I had
like 2 decades.
Yeah, I had a feeling. So the other hints were going to be played for the Oilers in 82.
God, he looks like Tom Petty.
He totally does. And he's considered the GOAT of hockey. All right, so you both got a point. Devlin, coming back to you. We're going 1985. NBA.
Oh,
boy. Come on.
The next going with the Bulls? Mm-mm. No? All right, so then it's not the Bulls, then it's going to be the Lakers.
You're on the right path. I mean, you'll guess it when I give you the second hint.
I know.
AIDS?
I'm trying to. I know Magic Johnson.
No.
I don't know. I can't think of it. Sorry.
Skyhook.
I'm trying to think. Skyhook.
Okay.
Remember, I have 3 hints for each one. So far, you've had 2. NBA was the first hint. Skyhook was the second one. Your third hint is his birth name was Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr.
Would not know who that is in 85.
Really?
Think Lakers.
Yeah, you were.
I'm thinking Lakers, and I'm trying to recall.
Who changed
If
their...
it's not Magic Johnson,
No.
I can't think of anybody else. Nope.
Frank
He didn't
Steele?
play. He played for the Suns.
Who are you thinking of that played for the Suns?
Charles Barkley?
No, and he started with the Sixers. Come on.
The Sixers. But I don't watch every damn sport.
Frank? Who is it?
It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Frank with the steal. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was Lou
He is
Alcindor.
an author now. He writes Sherlock Holmes books.
He does, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in
He
Airplane.
writes about his brother.
He was fantastic in Airplane.
I can see that, too.
All right. Frank, we're going to you.
Okay.
Sportsman of the Year, 1986. College football.
86 college football.
Uh-huh.
The guy from Oklahoma. No?
No.
Oh no, Bo Jackson.
I'll give you one more guess. You're just firing them out here. There's some pretty serious allegations against this guy in his school a lot of years later.
Well, it's not Florida football, so.
No. Third and final hint, white helmets.
Oh, Joe Pa?
Who?
Joe
Paterno.
Paterno.
The head coach of Penn State.
Oh.
Oh, I never even showed you guys the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one. Yeah, so there's Joe Paterno.
How did Joe Pesci not play this guy?
He still can.
Hey, we're backtracking now. Here was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Sportsman of the Year. Did I give Frank his point on that one? I did not. There you go. There's your point. All right, we're going back to Devlin here. 1988 Sportsman of the Year. It's a baseball player. Played for the Dodgers. And I've been looking forward to this third and final hint, but I want to see what your original guess is here. Dodgers baseball player, 1988.
I don't know. Sorry.
Third and final
Not
hint.
gonna do much
Ready?
for you.
Don't call him
Yep.
anal. Come on!
I don't know.
That's an amazing hint.
I don't know. How is that an amazing hint? Don't call him anal.
Frank? Frank?
I can only think of the Mexican pitcher,
Fernando
and I can't even-
Valenzuela?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Oral Hershiser.
Oh, there you go.
Don't call him anal.
Yeah, I don't know about the anal part.
No, that wasn't a hint. That
I
was
think if you would have said Hawk 2, we might have gotten
Nah, Oral Hershiser, man. 1988 Sportsman of the Year. Although I was figuring that one of you guys were going to guess Fernando Valenzuela. Was going to be the one. All right, moving over to Frank here. 1990 NFL. Won a lot of titles in the 90s. You're going to guess it on the third one. So do you have any guesses yet?
Oh, Emmitt Smith?
Oh, shit. No, I'm sorry. In the 80s, not 90s.
Oh, we're going to 80s?
Yeah, because it was 1990.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I knew something was off there. I had the typo in there. I read 90s. It was 80s. But yeah, your 1990 Sportsman of the Year, Mr. Joe Montana, and his glorious Adam's apple.
Look how plain that cover looks, too. It just, I mean, right? Looks like one of us took the photo and they were like, yeah, let's use that.
And it was $2.75. All right, back to Devlin. 1991. This one actually only has 2 hints. NBA. GOAT.
Yeah, you got this one.
Michael Jordan.
What kind of picture? That's supposed to be 3D?
It was the hologram picture.
Yeah, the
Hologram.
one.
Okay.
That moved when you
Everyone as a kid.
turned it. And you'll notice that it went up from $2.75 to $2.95 from 1990 to
because of the hologram.
1991 for the issue of Sports Illustrated.
I have a Dr. Doom trading card from 91 that's hologram.
There you go. It'll be worth some money now that RDJ's playing them. All right, back to Frank. We're going 1993 Sportsman of the Year, NFL, head coach.
93?
1993 NFL head coach. I do have one final hint for you.
Jimmy Johnson.
It was not Jimmy Johnson.
Dallas Cowboys coach?
No.
Yeah, he was. The Jimmy Johnson was. But who was the head coach of the Bills? What's the only other guy I can think of?
It wasn't
Nope.
Marv. Wasn't it Marv?
Yeah, Marv something.
Levy?
Levy, yeah.
Is that who it was? No. Here's your third hint. Most wins of all time.
Oh, Walsh.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Devlin, you got a steal?
Steal what?
Don
Oh,
Shula.
yeah, I don't even know.
Don
Damn it.
Shula, the man that Bill
That
Belichick
didn't
is still chasing.
Didn't even enter my head at that point.
All right, we're heading over back to Devlin. We got 4 more here. 1995 baseball player. The Streak.
Oh.
Oh, Mark. What's his last name?
No.
Can't remember his last name.
No, you're going
Mark.
down the wrong path.
Oh, all right. The Streak.
The Streak.
Bo.
Baltimore Oriole. Did you see him go for the swing right there? Devlin totally just went for the swing.
I remember the Baltimore Orioles. I remember that. I've got a couple of his cards still sitting around somewhere. They kicked him. They were pissed because they thought he was juicing. Or
Nope.
He was juicing actually.
Nope.
Not him.
No, not
Wrong guy? Then I don't know.
not
Palmeiro.
Not Palmeiro.
Not Palmeiro. Darn it. And then is it the pitcher?
No. All right, Frank, you gonna steal?
It's Ripken.
Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yep.
Cal Ripken Jr. was your 1995 Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. Still only $2.95
Who the hell
though.
was I thinking of? I think I was thinking of the San Francisco Giants.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, what pitcher were you thinking of?
Barry Bonds. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh.
Barry Bonds.
All right, here
I
we
was going
go.
off Kelly.
Back to Frank. Did I give you your point on that? I don't know if I did or not, but you're in the. You're in enough of a lead already. All right, go 1996 golf.
'96. It had. Was that Tiger Woods?
Yep.
Was there another golfer?
Well, because I was thinking somebody might have retired, and it was like one of the older
yeah.
guys. But then I was thinking like, no, it's got to be Woods.
Now your hints were going to be Eldrick, and arguably the most dominant golfer ever. All right, back to Devlin. We got two more here. 1998 Sportsman of the Year. This one is baseball, and it's actually two different men.
Robert Downey Jr.
Who was the basketball player we always
dude
mentioned?
disguised as a dude.
Honus Wagner. Bob Cousy. That's it. Is it Bob
Cousy.
Now, home run chase to surpass Roger Maris.
Okay.
This is on you, Devlin.
Okay, so two people.
Yep. Cardinals
So it's
and
not
Cubs.
So it is Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire.
Heyo!
Yeah.
You are
of course,
correct. I
Sammy.
like how blurry these all came out.
I just
Great.
that was the
Right.
summer and early fall. I remember that was the whole thing was watching that, and then a couple years later, you find out both of them were straight juicing.
Yeah.
Which,
All right, here we go.
I mean, that's pretty much what you pay to watch, though.
Yeah. All right,
Chicks
Frank.
love the long ball.
Last one, 1999, soccer.
The women's World Cup.
Son of a bitch. Look at you. Yeah. Your other hints were going to be won the World Cup and the female team.
I thought you were gonna say like sports bra.
No, sports. You know, there's a place in Portland called the Sports Bra, right?
Is it a strip
Yeah,
club?
It's a
female
sports bar.
sports bar.
Yeah, it's a sports bar that only plays female sports.
Lesbians?
See, Anna's firing on all cylinders. She knew it was Cal Ripken.
Hey.
She knew it was Tiger Woods. All right. First impressions. I'm going to show you guys a picture. Frank, I want to know what you think of when I show you this.
That's the SNICK couch, yeah,
Yeah,
from
it
back in the
is.
day. That was my Friday nights or Saturday nights whenever it came on.
Well,
It
remember,
was Saturdays, right?
yeah, SNICK stood
Saturdays,
for
yeah,
Saturday
Saturday
Night Nick.
Yeah.
It debuted August 15th, 1992, and it ran until January 29th, 2005. It did have some reiterations in there, and they changed it around a little bit. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Now, at that time, television on Fridays and Saturdays, they weren't targeted towards viewers under 50 years old because it was believed that that audience wasn't home watching television. Do you remember the 4 shows that debuted on SNICK?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
There's one.
All that.
All that it was
No.
on it, did not debut on
It was one of those. What Wienerville?
it. No,
that
but I
one of
remember
them?
I remember Wienerville, and no, because the Wienerville was the one where it had the guy. He would
Yeah.
stick his head, and then he had like little puppet hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
mhm.
Yep.
That was fantastic.
Trying to think
he-
back. 92.
It's pretty difficult because essentially they repurposed 2 shows, and then there was 2 new shows. Are You Afraid of the Dark was one of the new shows.
Right.
The 2 repurposed shows, one was Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy. Okay. Yeah, because that came on late.
Yep. And then the other one was Na 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 Na.
Oh, Carissa explains it
Clarissa
all.
explains
That's
it
right.
all.
They moved it over there. I forgot.
And then the other one, which
That
was
show
a
was actually pretty fantastic.
I loved Clarissa Explains It All.
time.
Although the one thing that
Yeah.
I never understood was their obsession with Pearl Jam. Like that was one of the
Honestly,
things.
Mine was the giant ladder that this dude was always able
Always
to throw
climbing
like,
up to the
out
house.
Yep.
window.
Yeah, that wasn't weird at all.
That was
right?
awesome. It's like Jim Varney was like,
Yeah.
just hey Vern.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Clarissa Explains It All and Ren and Stimpy were the 2 shows that already existed that they moved to SNICK. And then Are You Afraid of the Dark was an original. Roundhouse was the other
Roundhouse.
original.
Yeah, like it was like all them dancing. That's
Yes!
what turned into all that.
Yes, I had completely forgot about this show.
That's right. That's right.
Go back
It's like
and
all the sets
I
would
can-
move. All
Yeah.
the sets would move and stuff. Yeah.
I can look at this and still see the thing moving around.
Yep.
Like the whole, the
set,
circle
yeah.
bouncing.
Go
Yeah.
back and watch episodes of Roundhouse because it was far more risque than you think it would be for Nickelodeon.
Well, because it was a bunch of like 20-something kids, wasn't it?
Well,
like, or
there's
adults at the
one
time.
there's one episode where they were talking about, I think it was like what happens when you get older, And then they had this cardboard thing behind them, and it was like, Mom's butt gets bigger. And then they pull this thing out that makes Mom's butt look big. And then they were like, and Janie's not going to need to use that training bra anymore. And they have like the high school girl show up, and it makes it look like she has boobs. Yeah, it was way more out there than I ever remembered at that age. Now, a couple of years later, 3 new shows debuted, one of which you guys already mentioned. All that. Which was a fantastic show, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pete and Pete.
Pete and Pete was
Still
awesome, though.
Yeah, I
See,
really like
Pete
that
and
show.
Pete.
I never got into Pete and Pete. I never understood it.
When it was on just randomly, like they'd put it on, you'd have the little 30-minute episode, just the characters, and they had so many people that were up and coming into business that were on that show that just had little small roles. Like Steve Buscemi was on that show at one
Devin
point.
and I just talked about that earlier.
Yeah, Iggy Pop was on that show.
Yeah, Iggy Pop, Janine Garofalo. There was a bunch of other just
was on it.
young comedians or people kind of like first getting their name in the business that would just for some reason pop up on Pete and Pete. It's the weirdest thing.
I always wanted to get into the show. I never could.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great. The Ice Cream Man freaked me out, though.
Now, the other show
I remember him.
that would end up debuting, I loved this show. I actually recorded this show.
Yeah, I thought it was. I was going to say it was Alex
Mack.
Mack. I couldn't think of the name. I was like, I think
It
it was
may
Alex
or may
Mack.
not have been because I had a crush on Larissa Oleynik, but I also loved Secret World of Alex Mack. It was a fantastic show.
Like, hey, let's just dump some
Yeah,
toxic
she was
waste on a
Kirsten
kid,
Dunst's personality.
and she gets
She
magical
was
powers.
Daredevil, dude. Or Ninja Turtle. It was the whole dumping toxic waste, and you kind of become a superhero.
Yep.
So the big orange couch. Oh, go ahead, Devlin.
Oh no, I remember getting her mixed up with Kirsten Dunst, and she was just easily the better of the two.
So the big orange couch was basically the mascot for SNICK. And then it was eventually retired in June of 1999, where they did a giveaway where it was stuffed with $25,000 and 6,000 cookies.
I think I remember that.
It did make a return, like a brief return in like 2000, 2001, but then that was pretty much it. And then by
that generation had aged out. Like the kids that grew up with that had aged
and then,
out.
Yeah, it was kind of by the late 90s, early 2000s, you started to see the cracks forming within SNICK. Eventually, they had they revamped it in '99 and they called it SNICK House with Nick Cannon.
See, my thing was, it's like,
How many kids did he have then?
He had 2 at that point.
Well, there's 1, 2, 3.
My thing was, I think up until around '96, when I got old enough to like start seeing movies, that's when I watched SNICK from like '92 to '96 at 4 years, and then after that, Friday nights and Saturday nights, depending on what movies came out, I was at the mall, watching movies.
Yeah.
So I think that's when they started having their issues. People stopped watching because it was TJF Fridays and then SNICKs on Saturdays was your weekend.
Yeah, you're right.
Old enough to go to the mall.
That was kind of the golden age
The other
of
problem
TV,
is
man.
TGI Fridays aged up. They changed their programming and get everybody older. Like you'd have wasn't even Saved by the Bell the college years on TGI Friday for one?
I don't remember what was on.
Well, that was the problem with Nick. Nick wanted
Yeah.
it to be like it was run by kids. Like that was their whole premises was it's like, oh, Nickelodeon's supposed to be run by kids for kids. So all their programming was kind of Disney oriented, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Well,
but 4 years in kids' lifestyle is a huge mental shift.
Yeah, big time.
You want something a little more updated, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you had the SNICK House with Nick Cannon. They would usually have a celebrity or music group would make an appearance. But then SNICK would be canceled on July 1st, 2001, and it was actually replaced by Nickflix, where it's basically just 90-minute Nicktoon special. Yeah, and it was just something that was completely off. And then on January 19th, 2002, a brand new SNICK began with a new lineup and an all-new cast of all that. And finally, on September 4th, 2004, SNICK was quietly rebranded as Saturday Night on Nickelodeon, but they still used the term SNICK in live on-air segments, but eventually it would die out. All right, next first impression here. Devlin, what do you think of when I show you this?
Man, that was a sinkhole of most of my childhood. I had a Sega Genesis.
I had that with the 32-bit, and Star Wars and Doom were the only two games that I played with the 32-bit. And I was supposed to be like the new technology, no longer 16, you now have 32, and you look back at it now.
I love the marketing here.
Sega had the best commercials, though. Remember their commercials?
Remember what they would always say at the end?
Sega!
There you go. I was hoping you would do it that way.
So, I don't know if this is a thing, but when I was a kid, this was the thing cable companies came out with, and it was called the Sega Channel. And it was literally a Sega game that hooked up to your cable box, or like the cable, and you would plug it into your Sega, and you would get 50 or 30 games every month.
I think I do remember that, because I remember the Genesis even had very rudimentary internet beginnings, if you will, and the ability to hook up online. So, Mommy, what are these two Sega machines doing? They're making an arcade system, dear. You look down here, you'll notice that it was around $160 for this. Over 32,000 colors and realistic 3D graphics. So then I also got to show you guys this, because the Sega Genesis, it was released August 14th, 1989 in North America. The other guys just don't stack up. Oh, man.
I had one of those, like, I had two Genesis, because I had, my mom had got me one, the first one was that big one.
Would that be
it was like,
Genocide?
The big one,
Would that be the plural, or you had Genocide?
Genocide, but it was like the earlier version of it, and it was big, and I remember like the dogs, whatever, had done something to it, so it stopped working. And my mom, like a few years later, bought me another one. They had shrunk it down a little bit more. It was like, I think a third of a size of what that one is there. But I do remember having like both the larger version and that smaller version, then getting the 32 plug-in thing.
Yeah, I was the only kid in my hood that got the Genesis. Everyone else got Super Nintendo, and I felt left out.
I didn't have either. I just had to go to a friend's house to play.
We had both. I had the Sega. My brothers ended up getting a Super Nintendo, so we would just switch off. Everybody, dude, it was so funny. Like everybody else in our neighborhood got Super Nintendo, except this one family, the Irish family. Their parents didn't believe in that stuff, and they got like a Coleco system.
Oh, I was just gonna say they get a ColecoVision. Commodore 64.
They tried to get us to come over. They're like, "Yeah, play this new system we got," and it's like, dude. We're like, this sucks.
Or if they're Irish, have you guys seen this new game called Frogger? It's fucking fantastic.
Well, it's Irish in name, O'Connor's.
So, Sonic the Hedgehog was not the first game that came with the console. Do you guys know what was?
Pac-Man?
Streets of Rage.
No. Altered Beast.
Oh yeah, I love that game in the arcade. That was
Altered
great.
Beast was my jam at the arcade. That's where I put all my money. But then, of course,
the other one.
You were able to get it with Sonic, and this is one that comes with Sonic 2, where you got Tails right there.
Yeah, that's the smaller one.
Golden Axe. That's what I'm thinking of. Golden
Axe.
Axe.
Yeah. Now, there was a mascot before Sonic. Do you guys know who that was? Alex Kidd.
What the hell is that?
So
I don't know who that is.
It was a character that had already been created, and it actually been around for a few years, and you could play it on Sega's Master System, the previous console. And there was only one game released that was called Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle for the Genesis, and obviously it didn't do well, and they moved on, and Sonic became the thing.
Sandcastle?
Right?
I guess.
He's at the beach and damn sandcastle.
So the Genesis was technically a faster console. The marketing team completely made up a term. Do you guys remember what that term was?
Sega-ness?
Blast processing. It was complete bull. Like they made up the term, but
that's a marketing thing. It's got to be.
But technically, the Genesis was faster than the Nintendo. Because it did have a faster CPU.
If like blast processing sounds like something you'd see in an adult fucking movie, like, come here, I'm gonna blast process you in the face.
That's what they call the money shot.
Sounds like something Michael Scott would say on The Office. We get the
Jesus, it does.
things.
So obviously back then, Nintendo, super successful, and they did a fantastic job of keeping Sega out of stores like Walmart. Because they basically said, if you allow the Genesis or you sell any of the Genesis products in your store, we're not going to let you sell Nintendo products. And Nintendo was a huge moneymaker for them. So stores would not carry the Genesis. This is what was brilliant with the Genesis. They would then rent a space across the street from these stores, and they would rent like a shop, and they would set up all of these kiosks that looked, I'm assuming, similar to this, where people could go play the Sega Genesis for free. And then suddenly, and I believe it was outside of the main Walmart in, is it Alabama? Bentonville. I think it's Bentonville, Alabama, is where Walmart is based. And so they did this right outside. So they finally had, and the lines were huge for people to come in and play the Sega Genesis for free. And so that got them to realize, what's that?
So that has to be a basement, right? With the
Oh yeah, this is some dude that bought it. Like yeah.
You see the curtains up in the back.
Yeah,
like where
no, there's a bed right here
basement.
for crying out loud. It looks like, or at least like some boxes covered up. Yeah, I was trying to find a better picture, but I really couldn't find a. I wanted to find one of the actual stores, but I couldn't. And finally, something that led to the downfall of Sega was the battle between Sega of Japan and Sega of America. The Japanese branch didn't like how a lot of the things were done with the US office and what they were doing to boost sales. They were more traditional, and this ended up leading to the poor decisions in the 90s and eventually the fall of Sega.
So America brought down Sega, or the Japanese one brought down Sega?
I would say both.
Okay.
Both.
Like I said, their commercials were wild. Remember, like, there's the one where the guy's beating himself on the head with like a petrified squirrel, and he's playing a Game Boy system.
Oh, that was Ethan Suppley.
Yeah.
Ethan Suppley.
But like, if you watch those 90s Sega commercials, they were like the most acid out commercials that you could ever see in your life.
The Chameleon one was awesome.
Yep.
I've got to do this. It's like, I think that's split personality disorder, love. Please stop doing that.
Just go. I love. Do you guys ever just go to YouTube and just watch old commercials like from the 90s? Oh,
yeah.
I'll fall down that rabbit hole any day.
One of the favorite things I do if we have like a holiday party, Halloween, Christmas, I throw on vintage holiday commercials on the TV on YouTube and just let it play.
Nice.
And people just end up staring at it and going, "Oh, I remember that."
Dude, that's a great idea. If I had friends, I would do the same thing.
The only one that's scary is the Halloween ones, because those horror shows show up and the kids see them and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be watching this.
This weekend
whatever.
on
We
USA,
survived
the
it. They
first
can survive
showing
it
of
too.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Next segment here, boys. You ready?
Go ahead.
Onion headlines time. I have 3 headlines here for you. 2 of them are from The Onion, satirical. 1 of them is real. You guys got to guess which one is real. Headline number 1. Report shows 78% of Americans too distracted by politics to appreciate the summer Glenn Powell is having. Headline number 2. Parents and Gen Alpha kids are having unintelligible convos because of brain rot language.
Okay.
And headline number 3. Iowa State Fair visitor gored by 500-pound yam. Which one do you think is the real headline? Devlin, we're starting with you.
I'm going to go with the brain rot is the real headline.
Devlin's going brain rot. Frank, what are you going with?
I'm going to go with the yam, just because that sounds
Frank is going yam, and we have a winner. It's Devlin.
Yam?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Parents and Gen Alpha
like,
kids are having unintelligible convos because of brain rot language. Now, I believe this article came from NBC News. So I've isolated some segments out of this to talk about this. I mean, I have a 12-year-old daughter, and are you guys familiar with Skibbity?
Wasn't that a word in like the 30s?
Is that a Pauly Shore saying?
Well, we're going to get to that here in a minute. There's one term in here that Frank actually taught us all about, and it's when we were going over the what were the most video game characters searched on Pornhub, I think is what it was. Really? Yeah. And there's a term that Frank told us about that gave us the heads up on that one. So this comes from the article on NBC News. It appeared abruptly in the lexicons of kids under 14. The first slang term unique to Generation Alpha. Are you guys familiar with which Generation Alpha is?
The other dumb one under Z?
Kinda. It's basically 2010, born 2010 and now. So anybody within that gap is Gen Alpha. So there was a term that was said. Nobody quite knew what it meant. It could mean bad, cool, or nothing at all, as the kids would explain. And then a dozen more incomprehensible terms followed suit.
Like Ion?
Gen Z, which is obviously the generation older than Alpha, Slay and T are officially vintage, giving away to Sigma, Gat. That's the one that Frank told me about.
Yeah.
And Phantom Tax.
Phantom Tax?
So remember this, because Devlin, I know you have a younger kid as well. So these are all terms that eventually you're going to be hearing.
So glad I don't have kids.
Gen Alpha's hype. I'm so glad you don't have kids either. Gen Alpha's hyper online manner of speaking has been dubbed brain rot. And that's mostly by Gen Zers who share spaces like TikTok with them. There's a content creator and a linguist named Adam Alexic, who says it's meant to create this in-group which alienates older people. And it can be hard for older people to catch up because you've got to be very current with the fads. It evolves so quickly online. Many of the Gen Alpha kids, this is not his quote anymore, it's back to the article. Many of the Gen Alpha kids who use skibbity as part of their daily lingo still don't really know what it means. My kid included. Like I've asked her, she's like, I don't know what it means. We just say it. Oh, and going back to the term Sigma, on one of my kids' assignments, they were supposed to post like on a message board within the class, what, do you prefer rainy days or sunny days? And all these kids from El Paso, Texas were like, I prefer rainy days. And it's like, we're going to need to fucking move, dude. And one kid posted that, and another kid just responded underneath, Sigma. Swear to God.
Well, you know what? That kid can ligma.
That's the first thing I thought of. Went from
Sigma
I'm sorry,
to ligma. Brain rot conversations. One of the biggest movies when I was a teenager was literally had a conversation where all they said was, dude.
Dude, where's my car?
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an entire conversation they had.
Pauly Shore was our brain.
And then you have Pauly Shore.
I was just going to go there. I mean, you think about Pauly Shore and all the stuff that he created. I mean, that was kind of it. So the skibbity thing, it all started.
You're harshing on my jizz, man. I'm going to just mellow on the munch.
He didn't say jizz.
Yeah.
I was just going with whatever riff word I could think of.
Jesus. No, he's at the juice. I just remember when he's at the convenience store. No, he's at the juice.
So
he got fucking left. Like they brought him everywhere into Disney. Disney gave him a platform to hit every other person that nobody would have allowed to watch any of his other movies.
Yeah.
The Goofy movie. Look, it's a Tower of Jesus.
Oh, you're right.
Well, some of his movies were what? Short. Like, was it? There was like the studio that Disney owned, but they'd use it as a different
Buena
label.
Vista. I think it was Buena Vista, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah, and like so, Son-in-Law and a lot of those movies are actually under the Disney umbrella, and he's been trying to push them to do another like Son-in-Law 2 and all these like other like he's begging on Twitter for them to because I guess he needs money, but he's begging on them to do like a sequel to some of his movies from the 90s.
So,
I mean, is there anybody gonna like and stop his documentary now, or his
now that Richard Simmons passed away? Hope so. So going back to this, it all started with a now 76-part animated YouTube series called Skibbity Toilet. Now it's used to mean basically anything.
Is that the thing they're making the movie on with the guy?
But it's so big that mainstream Hollywood has taken notice. And director Michael Bay is set to give Skibbity Toilet the film and TV treatment with a franchise that's in the works.
apparently it's like an old YouTube video from like 10 or 12 years ago, and it's just like this younger generation has just caught on to it now or something.
Yeah, it's not
it?
a new video. It's at least 2 years old.
Okay, 2 years. Yeah. Okay.
So, just so you guys know, this is an educational portion of the program for anybody with children. I'm going to try to tell you what some of these terms mean.
Oh, Lord.
Sigma, for example, means someone who is cool or a leader.
Okay.
Ohio, on the other hand, means weird or cringe. And that's based on the memes that reference only in Ohio, with certain things that only happen in that state. Negative aura has replaced Gen Z's bad vibes.
I mean, that's basically the same thing.
And phantom tax means to steal something.
So
Phantom or Phantom?
Phantom, F-A-N-U-M.
we went with one generation that was making everything short, like they'd go ion and go on whatever the hell it was supposed to mean something, and now we're going to one that's like, no, let's add 5 words to it to explain what we're trying to say. What the hell happened in the last 20 years?
Well,
I mean, they still shorten things like Riz. That's charisma.
Is that
shortened.
Alpha or is that Z?
I thought it was Alpha.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to keep. I can't keep up with the generation thing. I've been like 9 different generation labels.
Yeah, right now some Alpha generation kid is watching this, going, "Look at these boomers."
Exactly.
So there was a TikTok song that goes to incorporate all of these different terms.
I had sex with your mom.
The song goes as such: sticking out your gyat for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. You're so phantom tax. I just want to be your Sigma. Freaking come here. Give me your Ohio.
I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what you did, but I'm pretty sure you summoned some weird trailer park demon.
Oh, there's probably a giant cloud over my house right now that's like, like Ghostbusters. So this also reminded me of, do you guys remember the fake grunge terms that were created?
I think you brought him up at one point.
Time magazine called Sub Pop Records in Seattle, basically asking like, hey, what are some terms that you can tell us so we know what the lingo is in kind of the grunge community? So this girl who was on the phone, was it Jasper was her name, I think? Somebody named Jasper. I'm seeing that in the article here. But anyway, so it was a girl at the front desk at Sub Pop Records. She just made a bunch of shit up. So what she made,
Good for her.
So she made a bloated, big bag of bloatation means drunk. Bound and hagged, staying home on a Friday or Saturday night. Cobnobbler was a loser.
That I remember being a hurt. I've heard that on movies before.
Oh, don't worry. You're
You're
gonna recognize some of these, like Dish, a desirable guy.
Good talk.
Fuzz, heavy wool sweaters. Harsh realm, bummer. Kickers, heavy boots. Lame stain, uncool person. Plats, platform shoes. Rock on, a happy goodbye. Score meant great. Swinging on the flippity flop meant hanging out. Tom Tom Club, uncool outsiders, and whack slacks were old ripped jeans.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to show my kid that.
I was cool once.
All right, but that is going to do it for all of that fun stuff. And now it is time to move on to some 90s trivia. Devlin currently 3 points behind. Oh, that's the wrong music. Hold on here. There we go. Yeah, there it is.
Luck last time.
All right. So Devlin's got to, don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years. 10-7. We're going to say first one to 13 points wins because we're already running behind and we got to get to the Robert De Niro movie draft. All right, here we go. Devlin, starting with you. We're going to give you the first crack here.
All right.
Fucking glasses. Hold on.
Now who's holding us up?
Yeah. This is me on this is my skibbity. Okay. Oh yeah. Here's one that's right up your alley. NHL hockey. Who was the first NHL player to win the Stanley Cup as a player and later as owner of the same team?
Wayne Gretzky?
Frank? Steele?
Bobby Orr?
Mario Lemieux.
Ah.
Played for the Penguins for 17 seasons, became part owner in 1999. All right, Frank, you only need 3 points to win. Here's your question. What fast-talking Canadian rock band scored a hit in 1998 with a single 1 week, which spent 1 week at number 1?
Been 1 week since you looked at me.
Come on, Garbles.
Is it Bare Naked Ladies?
There you go. There you go. Remember that scene in Community when they're calling him BNL? And he's like, BNL needs an abbreviation now? And then they get into this argument about how much Bare Naked Ladies sucks.
For some reason, yeah, just like I remember that song, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was Bare Naked Ladies. I thought they sang a different song. But now, yeah.
They did do the
another song of theirs.
Yeah, they did do the theme for Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
back to Devlin. In which iconic
Oh,
church
now it's the Chinese chicken.
was the song Goodbye England's Rose played on September 6th, 1997, heard by over 2.5 billion viewers simultaneously?
Goodbye England Rose?
Goodbye England's Rose.
Is that the Princess Diana thing?
What was the name of the church?
Ooh.
Oh, hell, I'm not going to know that.
That's pretty famous. Frank, got a steal?
I don't. The church.
Yeah, the
Church of
I got
England?
St. Patrick's Cathedral is all I've got.
Westminster Abbey,
Ah.
That's a church.
I guess.
Didn't know that was a church. I thought it was a government building.
Absy.
Absy. All right. I mean, it might not be. I don't know. I didn't write the fucking question. All right, back to Frank. What diet, high in omega-3s, was promised by Dr. Barry Sears in his bestseller to produce a fat-burning metabolism and a ticket to wellness?
This was in the 90s?
Yeah. 95, to be precise.
Man.
Repeat the question.
What diet, high in omega-3s, was promised by Dr. Barry Sears in his bestseller to produce a fat-burning metabolism and a ticket to wellness?
Fish diet. I don't know.
No. Steel Devlin? You even got a guess?
Was it that weird beach one? The beach diet?
No. Like Beach Body? No. The
No,
Zone.
it was somewhere. The Zone? No, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I thought it was some beach thing.
There was a book titled Enter the Zone. Yeah.
Don't know that
All
one.
right.
All right, back to Devlin. Here we go. What Cuban boy, the sole survivor of a 1999 ocean escape to Florida, was caught in a custody battle between his relatives and in both countries?
I don't even recall that. Sorry.
What?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I was big in Florida.
I bet.
Steel Frank?
Ricky Martin?
No.
No, it's I can't remember the kid's first name. Last name Gonzalez.
I'll give you the point. Elian.
I want to say, yeah, I almost wanted to say Emilio, but
Elian
yeah,
Gonzalez. 7 months
was a
later, the case was settled and he
thing.
was reunited with his father in Cuba.
Yeah.
All right, Frank. Get
What?
this one right. You win and you get to pick first in the draft. What Labor Party candidate was elected in 1997, becoming the youngest prime minister of Great Britain in the 20th century?
Tony Blair.
You are correct, sir. There's your big winner.
How do you even know that?
The only thing I could think was in 2001 when we went to war with Afghanistan. Tony Blair was there, so that was why I went with it.
I'm pretty sure I've lived under the impression that Tony Blair's still been the prime minister for the past 20 years.
I thought it was Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher, straight bitch. All right, well that's gonna do it for the quiz.
What,
Frank
they call
gets
her the milk thief or something?
the big wiener, which means Frank gets to pick first. We're doing Robert De Niro movie draft, ladies and gentlemen. Frank will get to pick first, and then Mr. Devlin, and then myself.
All right.
Let me get everything ready to roll here. All right. There's still 2 minutes of the victory song left. Do you want me to play the whole thing, Frank?
God, no.
All right, fine. All right, Robert De Niro celebrating a birthday. So we are doing a Robert De Niro movie draft. Frank, the big winners of today. He's got 13 points, Devlin 7. So Frank will get to choose first. Basically, it will go Frank and then Devlin and then myself. I get to go back to back. And then it's like a snake draft. We're trying to pick the ultimate triple feature of Robert De Niro movies. Frank, what is your first Robert De Niro movie?
Well, as I know him, he likes to be called Bob. So.
Okay.
My favorite Bob De Niro movie is Heat.
Ah!
I'm gonna take Heat.
That's a good one.
Number 1.
The movie that they show to train people with Val Kilmer when he changes that clip out.
And the guys in North Hollywood studied to do the shootout when they robbed the bank.
Right, yeah. All right, Frank goes Heat number 1. Devlin, what is your number 1 pick for Robert De Niro?
From Vegas, so I'm going to go with Casino.
Ah, that was going to be my first pick, you son of a bitch.
Do you know our mayor played himself in this movie?
Really? I did not know that.
The mayor of Vegas was he was the lawyer for the mob.
Was Monkeys and More in there?
No.
Was that Vegas? Was Monkeys and More in Vegas?
Yeah, Monkeys and More was in Vegas.
So for anybody who missed last week's stream, we found out that Devlin worked at a place called Monkeys and More that sold exotic pets. That is fantastic. Okay. All right, my first pick.
I got to hang out with baby tigers and pythons. That shit.
That's pretty. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty freaking cool, man. All right, my first pick for Robert De Niro movie. Ever since I was as far back as I can remember,
Goodfellas.
I've always wanted to be a gangster. If I don't get Casino, I at least got to take Goodfellas, you know.
Good one.
And for my second pick, I've got some that are a little bit rogue on here, but I feel like I almost want to go classic De Niro on this one. Classic, and I got to go Taxi Driver.
Nice.
Good movie.
Jodie Foster making her little debut in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I got a bit of a bone to pick. How does he survive that long at the spoiler alert? How does he survive that long at the end of the movie after getting shot in the neck? Am I remembering it wrong? Because I thought that the bullet hits him here, and he's like, it's blood. And ultimately he dies, but you know what I mean?
I mean,
maybe he pinched it.
He's not. Otherwise he'd be like this. I don't know. It just
Scorsese let a lot of people get shot up and lived. So
yeah,
Scorsese.
Yeah.
All right, Devlin, what is your second pick for Robert De Niro?
I'm gonna go with Analyze This.
Brought that up at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Isn't that the one where he does "I'm so pretty, oh so pretty"?
Was that one, or was that Anger Management with Adam Sandler?
That was Anger Management. That was Jack Nicholson.
No, that was Jack Nicholson. Either way, this is still good. Billy Crystal.
That is a really good movie. All right, we're back to Frank. So far, Frank has.
You're good. You're good.
What are your second and third picks, Frank?
Second is going to be Godfather 2.
Oh my God, these movies are fucking terrible.
No, they're not. You just have no.
Look at I'm gonna make it
so terrible.
You got the smallest poster for it. You're gonna get ate up in the.
I'm just gonna make it all fucking tiny because Godfather movies suck.
That's what she said.
I'm gonna leave that. So I always do a post. Make sure you guys find that stuff on Instagram or Facebook, because I always put up a post at The Real Brandalorian, by the way, that shows each person's triple feature, and then I just kind of ask who built the best triple feature. I'm gonna fucking leave this one out. I'm not even gonna put it in there.
You're an elitist.
Random wild card.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick what was that really crappy movie he was in? Was it called Bad Grandpa or Creepy Grandpa or whatever the hell it was?
Bad Grandpa.
You know what you do? You open up Paint in your
Dirty Grandpa.
and just write out on your computer Godfather 2 with the mouse, and then you just put it up
with a thumbs down emoji. All right, what's your third pick, Frank?
Rocky and Bull. No.
Better than Godfather 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
the
it's not.
Untouchables.
The Untouchables.
Wow. All right.
I liked them, even though it was a complete bullshit movie because none of that ever happened, and Kevin Costner's character was a complete and utter bullshit liar.
Yeah.
But you know the whole story about Kevin Costner's character, right? Like, he stole that story from somebody else, went around the country telling everybody it was him when it wasn't, and nobody checked him on it. And it wasn't until like 20 years after the movie came out that somebody found out.
You mean Elliot Ness? Wasn't he Elliot Ness?
Yeah, he wasn't a part of anything. Like, I think he showed up one day and got a picture, like holding an axe by a barrel, and that was it. And then sat at the desk the entire time. But he wrote the story from other things he was hearing. Nobody fact checked him. They then made a movie, and 20 years later, somebody found out that it was complete bullshit.
I gotta do a video on that because there's an article right here called "Myths Surrounding Untouchable Lawman Elliot Ness: 10 Surprising Facts About Elliot Ness, Truth About Elliot Ness." It says here, this one comes from the Chicago Tribune. This one says Ness was not a fraud; he was the real deal. To be sure, he was a flawed man, especially in his personal life.
I like the Sean Connery was in that too.
Because Sean Connery. By the way, he look a little bit like Matt Damon right there?
No, he looks like Kevin Costner.
He looks like Kevin Costner.
Oh, whatever. He looks like Matt Damon. Shut up. Godfather sucks. All right, Devin, what's your third movie?
It's kind of a toss-up for me, so I'm just gonna go with this Meet the Parents.
Ah, you son of a bitch! That was gonna be my third one.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. Because I was gonna go Goodfellas, then Taxi Driver, and then I was gonna lighten the mood with a little Meet the Parents.
No, what are the slippers? Look at Ben Stiller's slippers.
Oh,
what the hell?
Like cotton candy Crocs.
Fucking grandma slippers. The feet look really large. Look at even De Niro's feet. Like, that doesn't look like his lower half.
It doesn't look like his body on his head. It looks like they just
it looks like they did that with both of them. They took, it was other people's bodies, and they took Stiller and De Niro and just stuck their heads on them.
Still one of the most iconic lines, though, from this movie. I got nipples. Could you milk me, Greg?
Could you milk me?
All right. Well, then it's on to me. I guess I don't get to pick Meet the Parents. Devlin's not invited on the live stream anymore.
Sorry. I can switch mine. How about I switch mine and you?
No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to switch. Okay. But for that, I will bring up. There was Meet the Fockers. It's honorable mentions time. We had Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Which they wouldn't make this, or they would make the movie. They wouldn't let them call the movie Meet the Fockers unless they could prove, like the director, if he could prove that there were people actually named Fokker.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only way they let him name the movie that.
Guess they found some Fockers.
They found some Fockers. Other honorable mentions here: Wag the Dog, Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, good movie. Here's a highly underrated movie, and Robert De Niro's not a huge part in this, but he's still pretty.
I know what you're gonna mention. Oh no, Sleepers. Yeah, that was a good one.
Which one are you thinking?
I liked Stardust. I liked him in Stardust.
Oh, okay.
He was good in that one.
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull, another good honorable mention.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, but if you've never seen Sleepers, watch it. It's a fantastic movie.
I remember that being a big. It was like 95 when that came out. 95,
I think so.
Around there, and that was the whole thing. Like, De Niro was like billed as being in it, and like he's only in it for like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, he plays a priest. So the premise of the movie is it starts out with these boys in New York, and they go to steal a hot dog cart, and then in the process, it ends up falling down a flight of stairs and kills a guy. So they all get sent to this like juvenile
delinquent center.
Yeah, it's religious based or whatever, and horrible things happen to them, like all kinds of bad things. And then the second part of the movie, it kind of flashes between when they were younger and then when they were older, and it's them trying to get back at the guys. It's a fucking amazing movie, man. Lots of good twists and turns in there.
What happened to Jason Patrick? That dude was fucking awesome.
He was the guy, right?
He did Alamo, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Speed 2 was the beginning of the end.
Oh yeah, Speed the end for him. Yeah, it's unfair.
Anna says Joker, which remember he was the one that Joker kills. Right
Yeah,
there.
he's a TV talk show guy.
There's Irishman. Wasn't able to get through it. I could not get past the makeup. I couldn't.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
I could not get past the makeup on this thing.
I heard, like everyone was saying it was pretty bad.
We got Deer Hunter as well. Robert De Niro. I'm not even sure what my third pick. I think I know what my third pick is going to be. Actually, at this point. What other honorable mentions do we have? Oh, we can't forget Cape Fear.
I love The Simpsons when they did their version of Cape Fear with Sideshow Bob.
Oh God, yeah, it was brilliant. Oh, the best part is when they're putting him in witness protection. He's like, when I stomp your foot, pull on my ear and say, "Hello, Mr. Thompson." You nod your head. And he's like, "Hello, Mr. Thompson." And Homer looks at the thing and goes, "I think he's talking to you."
I like the rakes. That's when the rake gimmick starts. He gets off the bottom of the car. It turns, hits another.
All right. A couple more honorable mentions here. Don't forget there was Copland.
Oh yeah, I love that one. That was actually really. But that's another movie where he's only in like maybe 10 minutes of the whole movie.
Yeah, that's a fantastic mustache.
Mostly just Stallone.
One more honorable mention.
Also, did you guys ever hear the diet that Stallone had to have to gain weight for that? He ate nothing but pancakes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because he got.
They were like, boo, fucking
boo. Was he eating those Uncle Buck pancakes?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
should have seen a toast. Couldn't even fit it through the door.
Awakenings, fantastic movie with Robin Williams.
You know what's so good about this though? What you got, Uncle Buck? Because remember, everybody thought Robert De Niro was the clown in Uncle Buck. For a while there, people thought that he cameoed as the clown. It was like a myth.
Who was it?
Drunk. It was just some random guy from Chicago. I can't remember what, but like that was like the whole myth was that was De Niro because the way he talked sounded like De Niro, but it was just some random guy from Chicago.
Interesting. And
you know, it wasn't an awful movie. Sorry, it wasn't bad. The Family.
The Family. Which one was
Michelle Pfeiffer and him?
Oh, okay, yeah. Where they're in the
2013,
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
He's like he's outing the mob, so they have to send him over to like somewhere in Europe, and nobody knows that he's a former like mob member. That was a good movie. That was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that's actually underrated.
Well, my third and final pick, highly underrated film, I think in general, but also an underrated Robert De Niro role.
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown.
Oh, and I did forget actually one more.
Kurt Russell in it?
No, he should be. I did forget one more honorable mention that I want to get to here. So Jackie Brown will be my third and final pick. I totally forgot A Bronx Tale.
Yeah. Oh, The Bronx Tale's good too. Yeah,
great really movie. Great
he also
movie.
Directed that too, didn't he?
Yeah, it says it right there. Robert De Niro's directorial debut.
There you go.
Right above the title.
Fantastic movie. All right, so that's going to do it for the Robert De Niro movie draft. We have Frank's picks were Heat, Godfather 2, and The Untouchables. Devlin's were Casino, Analyze This, and Meet the Parents. And then my triple feature was Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, and Jackie Brown. And on that note, that's going to do it for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We ran long today. Jesus, that's what she said.
Sometimes you got to go long.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it to an hour, and then we just got really talking about Uncle Buck and all that fun stuff.
So Uncle Buck is awesome.
It's true.
Yeah,
I do want to watch it now, but it's not available streaming anywhere.
It's on Netflix.
Is it?
You could just buy the
because
Blu-ray.
I just looked it up on Just Watch, and it says it's not on anywhere. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I know what I'm watching when I'm falling asleep tonight. Uncle Buck.
Yep, Uncle Buck. It's still there. It's also with a phenomenal movie, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Original?
The new one? Or
The new one. Yeah, the new one.
That's the one with Henry Cavill?
Yeah, and Army Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's the only part that kills it, but that's still a great freaking play.
I don't think Army Hammer was ever really a bad actor. He just liked to eat people.
Allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. They kind of killed it, allegedly.
Literally killed it.
He'd like to nibble on a couple of things.
Hey man, sometimes you text your kinks to people thinking that they're really into it, and then they use it against you.
Yeah, that's where you got to be very careful what you text. No dick pics, man.
Yeah, apparently eating out means something different for alphas. I guess I don't know. A little too literal.
Anna went with no. I picked Goodfellas. She says nobody picked her choices for Robert De Niro. I picked Goodfellas. She also went with Machete. Machete.
Was he in Machete?
Yeah, I think he was very
like a small
briefly.
role.
And Killer Elite. I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
it's
done
kind of
a
hard.
lot
He's got
of
like you got
fucking
Ronin still.
Yep.
Ronin never got shown up either. That was a good one.
I did have. I had here.
Well, you had
There
Midnight
you go.
Run.
Yeah.
I did have Ronin. I did also have a little Midnight Run right there with him and Charles Grodin.
Yep.
He was also in Limitless. He's kind of cool in it, but
Yeah. There was also, don't forget, there was also the movie Mean Streets.
yeah.
God, you could not tell what that movie was about just from that poster.
No. Is it about
Or
guns?
does anybody else remember Cape Fear?
Oh,
Yeah, that
we
was one that-
brought that one up when you jumped up.
We talked about how the
Oh,
Simpsons
sorry.
did the
Kid
whole
popped
thing.
his head in. I was like, what happened?
What'd you break? Oh shit! And there's another one. Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah, that's a good one,
Who's
but it's
in
like
that?
Yeah.
right there.
Oh shit. Yeah.
James Woods, a few others. Yeah, that one's just I don't know. It's like either very long or it just wasn't as good as some of the other stuff he's done.
It's still better than Godfather. All right, that's gonna do it for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Godfather Part 2.
Every Wednesday we are here, and we will bash the Godfather every single live stream.
You will.
I will. They're terrible movies. But on that note, Devlin, thank you for showing up again, my man. Frank, as
Appreciate it.
always. And yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday. Don't forget, there's 3 videos that drop every single day on all my social medias on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Those are the shorts. They're less than 60 seconds. General information, entertainment news, all this other stuff. Make sure you guys are watching that stuff. Like it, share it, do all those fun things. And then another thing that I'll do is I take these segments from the live stream and then I upload those separately to YouTube. So if you can go check those out again, maybe you missed something the first time, go make sure you like it, watch it, and comment on it as well. Maybe there's something that we said that bothered you. You can let us know what it was. Or we could just sit and stare like this.
Blaster processor.
Blast
Oh, God.
processing.
Whatever.
Blaster processor.
Oh my God. All right.
I
Monkeys
feel like
and
that's
more.
weird to get it right.
All right. That's going to do it for the live stream.
Blaster
Everybody say bye.
processor.
Everybody, bye. The back of your head looks like a butt.
Yeah, it's still not stopping, so that's still going.